Shalom, I give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakal Kadash. I give double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone. Salutations to all you sincere brothers pushing his word across the four corners of the earth. This is an article from NOLA.com, and the title says, Harvard University profits from early photos of slaves, lawsuit says. This was published on March the 20th, 2019. And this is a famous image. If you look up anything or you Google anything concerning American slaves or Negro slaves, this is one of the most famous images that will pop up of a so-called Negro named Renty. It says Harvard University has shamelessly turned a profit from photos of two 19th century slaves while ignoring requests to turn the photos over to the slaves' descendants, according to a lawsuit filed Wednesday. Tamara Lanier of Norwich, Connecticut, is suing the Ivy League school for wrongful seizure, possession, and expropriation of images she says depict two of her ancestors. Her suit, filed in Massachusetts state court, demands that Harvard immediately turn over the photos, acknowledge her ancestry, and pay an unspecified sum in damages. Harvard spokesman Jonathan Swain said the university has not yet been served, and with that, is in no position to comment on this complaint. At the center of the case is a series of 1850 daguerreotypes, an early type of photo taken of two South Carolina slaves identified as Renty and his daughter Delia. Both were posed shirtless and photographed from several angles. The images are believed to be the earliest known photos of American slaves. They were commissioned by Harvard biologist Louis Agassiz, whose theories on racial difference were used to support slavery in the U.S. The lawsuit says Agassiz came across Renty and Delia while touring plantations in search of racially pure slaves born in Africa. To Agassiz, Renty and Delia were nothing more than research specimens. The suit says, the violence of compelling them to participate in a degrading exercise designed to prove their own subhuman status would not have occurred to him, let alone mattered. So that's how you so-called white people looked at us back in these times, and also you still look at us in these times right now. Subhuman. And this is from the freedictionary.com, and the definition for subhuman says, below the human race in evolutionary development, regarded as not being fully human. And that's how they look at us. They look at us as not being fully human, but you look into the etymology of the word human, it simply means man of color. So of course you so-called Negroes, we are human. But you so-called white people are not human because you have no type of pigmentation. You have no melanin. And just to back up that claim that they look at us as subhuman, it says Article 1, Section 2 of the Constitution of the U.S. declared that any person who was not free would be counted as 3/5 of a free individual for the purposes of determining congressional representation. And we as Israelites, we still not free. And they still look at the so-called Negroes as 3/5 of a man. The 3/5 clause thus increased the political power of slave-holding states. This is Isaiah 25:7. And he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people. And this is speaking of our Heavenly Father and his only begotten Son, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And the veil that is spread over all nations. Verse 8. He will swallow up death and victory, and the Lord power will wipe away tears from off all faces. And that's talking about the faces of the Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And the rebuke of his people should be taken away from off all the earth. And that part of rebuke is going to those different reproaches, those spiritual stigmas that we are being called. Anything outside our biblical identity as Israelites and from whichever perspective tribe, that's the rebuke. Us being called niggas or spits or wetbacks or engines, 3/5 of a man, subhuman. You know, those are those different reproaches here how Ba'ashah placed on us as a nation for disobeying his laws, statutes, and commandments. But now we're at the end of the so-called white man's rulership. the curses about getting ready to turn on him and the other nations. Because the other nations, they partook in having us down as a people. You know, they didn't try to fight for us or try to have our side. You know, they took in partnership with Esau to pretty much just come up off our demise. It says, in the rebuke of his people should he take away from off all the earth. So no matter where we are scattered across the four corners of earth, due to Deuteronomy 28:64, Yahweh Shashai, he's going to take those curses off of us. For the Lord has spoken it, and Yahweh Shashai said he's a man that he should not lie. Okay, back to the article. The suit attacks Harvard for its exploitation of Renty's image at a 2017 conference and in other uses. It says Harvard has capitalized on the photos by demanding a hefty licensing fee to reproduce the images. It also draws attention to a book Harvard sells for $40 with Renty's portrait on the cover. The call from the site to site, anthropology, photography, and the power imagery explores the use of photography and anthropology. Among other demands, the suit asks Harvard to acknowledge that it bears responsibility for the humiliation of Renty and Delia, and that Harvard was complicit in perpetuating and justifying the institution of slavery. So here it is, a so-called prestigious school, Harvard University, is selling a book with Renty's image on the cover, and not even letting his descendants know what they are doing with those images. And this also just shows you how Esau has that greed or that excessive desire. He just continue to keep pumping and pumping and pumping until he cannot get enough. Nothing satisfies this devil. And what gets me is how our people take pride in receiving scholarships for schools like this. But little do they know that Harvard University and other so-called prestigious schools came up off of the blood, sweat, and tears of our forefathers via the slave trade. That's how a lot of these different corporations you see that's been running for hundreds of years, they came up off of the slave trade. But do our people care? No, they don't. This is from apmreports.org, and the title says Shackled Legacy. History shows slavery helped build many U.S. colleges and universities. As more schools begin to confront their participation in slavery, they also consider how to make amends. And you cannot make amends, Esau. You cannot rectify all the wickedness you have been doing since you've been a nation on this planet Earth. You touch the Most High's chosen people, that's something that's etched in your history. Yahweh Shashai has that remembered and recorded. So there's nothing you can do to try to repair this. Only thing how it's going to be repaired is when Yahweh Shai comes back and he's going to have those many crowns on his head, because he's going to take down the rulership of you so-called white people and you other nations. Then he's going to put you all in slavery, and you all going to be getting lynched. You all going to be getting your backs whipped. You know, everything that you did to us as a nation, we're going to do to you double, but we're going to do ours in righteousness. Because the things that you was doing to us as a people, it was plain out sadistic, wicked, and perverse. So Yahweh Shashai, he has your number. He's going to pull it very soon. Now you see that your empire is falling. Now you want to be cool with us. But just like 50 plus years ago, you were just trying to lynch us. And you still trying to lynch us nowadays. It's still stuff coming out how so-called Negroes are being found hung on a tree. But you try to say that, oh, they committed suicide. So it says 3 colleges make amends: Harvard, Georgetown, University of Virginia. And we just read about Harvard University. Dozens of American colleges and universities are investigating their historic ties to the slave trade and debating how to atone. See, now this is getting to Esau. This is his shame being uncovered. This is Yahweh Shai. He's raising up that skirt off this whore America, and now the nations and the rest of the people around the world are seeing the wickedness of America. Now we are seeing how America was really started, how it was really thriving as a nation due to the slave trade of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Profits from slavery and related industries helped fund some of the most prestigious schools in the Northeast, including Harvard, Columbia, Princeton, and Yale, and in many southern states, including the University of Virginia. Enslaved people built college campuses and served faculty and students. So just like we built ancient Egypt as a people, the new Egypt, America, we built this city as well. We built this country. So this is Isaiah 47:3. Thy nakedness should be uncovered, yea, thy shame should be seen. So now the whole world is seeing the shame of America. You know, they seeing the homosexuality here. They seeing how the little kids want to be transgenders. They seeing how America was founded off of blood, sweat, and tears of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know, all your history is being brought out now. And Yahweh Shai, he's putting spirit on his hopeful elect to bring out information like this. And also he's putting a spirit on these whistleblowers to bring out information of all the wickedness you have been doing since you've been ruling. Let's let you know this is the end of Esau's empire. And it's just like a movie. At the end of each movie, the truth has to come out. And that's what is being brought out on Esau. The truth is being brought out on Esau. We are finding out more and more knowledge on Esau each and every day because Yahweh Shai said knowledge shall be increased. So we are knowing more about the wickedness of Esau. It says, thy nakedness should be uncovered, yea, thy shame should be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. This is talking about our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai of the nation of Israel. When he comes back, he's going to come back as an angelic force. Just like 2,000 plus years ago when he came here, he came in as the lamb. You know, he was quiet. You know, he just handled his business. He came in as a regular man. But when he comes back this time, when he comes back also with the holy angels, he's going to come back as that Lion of Judah, the angelic force. This is Luke 8:17. For nothing is secret that should not be made manifest, neither anything hid that should not be known and come abroad. And that's Yahweh Shai. He's bringing out all this stuff on Esau. That's why we're finding out now that all these different corporations, they profited off of slavery. From banks to universities to insurance companies. You know, Esau's wickedness is being brought to the limelight. And everybody's seeing it now. That's that shame that we read about in Isaiah 47 chapter and the 3rd verse. So back to the article. It says Lanier alleges that she wrote to Harvard in 2011 detailing her ties to Renty. In a letter to Drew Foss, then Harvard's president, Lanier says she wanted to learn more about the images and how they would be used. She was more explicit in 2017, demanding that Harvard relinquish the photos. In both cases, she said Harvard responded but evaded her request. And again, this is the great-great-great-granddaughter of the slave Lenty. And she's the woman that's suing Harvard University for exploitation. So that's the point right there in the video, just showing, more things are coming down on Esau and his wickedness. So again, I'd like to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rokakadash. I get double honors again to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to all you sincere brothers. Shalom.